So last week, we went on Tuesday and we reviewed the movie Wish. It is Disney's 100th anniversary film. It came out over the long Thanksgiving Day weekend. It's a tradition for Disney to release films over that period, and they tended in the past to do very, very well. This is not one of those cases. Wish didn't even crack the top 2 at the box office. It came in third behind Hunger Games, which was in its second week, and Napoleon.
But not as catastrophic as the flop Strange World.
Not quite as bad as Strange World.
In 2022. Well deserved. This was an awful movie. It wasn't even mid. It was well below mid.
We've ever since we reviewed it, the YouTube short about how she's actually the villain, which was made before we saw the movie, which was a prediction, that has since gotten a lot of traction here on YouTube. People are none too happy with our takes on that. Some are okay with it. Yeah, people are much happier with our take on Mr. Beast.
How can you still be a Disney shill in 2023 when this is their output? I don't understand that.
Take the slop and take whatever they feed you.
Right. So, I also saw one of these Disney shills reacting to the horrible box office for Wish. And they said, to the so-called animation fans, what the heck is wrong with you? You just ruined a famous studio's 100th anniversary and only point and laugh like arrogant jerks. Have you no shame at all? Hashtag justice for Wish. And then someone said...
That's freaking disturbing.
Yeah. Then someone said, thanks to you, Disney can only afford to make 17 Disney Plus original shows next year instead of 20. Poor Disney.
It's not a parody?
Bob Iger is going to cry himself to sleep tonight.
That's not a parody?
No, I don't think it is.
That type of like weird blind loyalty to an IP is insane, or to a company is insane.
Someone replied, what moral obligation do I have to enjoy a product exactly? And they said, supporting the crew and cast who worked on it for one thing. And I'm like, they already got paid. Like, they're good. They are fine. They're not getting paid based on how well this does.
Yeah.
So why would I have a moral obligation to support Disney?
Anytime one of these things comes out, somebody puts a blame the fans bingo card in there, and one of them is, but they worked hard on it.
Oh, they said, Elemental, you still let that flop. But even Elemental, after having a lackluster opening weekend, had long legs and ended up recovering. It actually ended up breaking even.
No.
Right?
I don't think so.
I think it was proven that Elemental broke even eventually.
So what it says here, I actually had this.
It just had really bad advertising and marketing.
So this says, while Elemental isn't considered an instant classic in Pixar's catalog, it still received a positive response from critics with a solid 74% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, we all know how much that matters. Unfortunately, it didn't keep the movie from having a miserable opening weekend at the box office. Elemental made just $29 million its opening weekend, and it was all but guaranteed to bomb. However, thanks to positive word of mouth, the movie only dropped small percentages each week and stayed in theaters for almost 2 months. As a result, Elemental made a profit after its box office comeback. It boasts a total worldwide gross of $425 million. First of all, I think it ended up at over $500 million by the time it was done. This article was printed a little bit before that. The problem is the budget on this movie was $200 million plus $100 million in marketing, means that it needs to break well over $600 million to break even. So I'm going to call...
And it's at 50 million, you said?
No, I'm talking about Elemental right now. Elemental needs to... I don't think Elemental broke even. So this movie's sitting at $49 million. Now we're back to talking about Wish. $49 million globally. It made $19.5 million over the 3-day weekend. It made just $31.7 domestically over the 5-day Thanksgiving weekend. The projections were $35 million for the 3-day, 45 for 50 for just domestically. So it underperformed heavily here at home. And then there was also this really funny one where...
Well, to really hammer home how paint by numbers this movie was, we saw a report that said directors of Wish had to use an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of the dozens of Disney Easter eggs that they added to the film.
Is there anything more soulless than corporate executives running an Excel spreadsheet to try and categorize and collate your childhood memories?
Perch said the film seemed to exist to nod to other Disney films, but when references are directly rolled out, it's hard to call them Easter eggs, and tracking them in Excel is how magical and organic they felt.
Yeah, the whole movie felt
It was a chore to watch. Yeah. And you know what? We had a lot of criticisms of Wish in our review that were from an ideological standpoint, how we think that this story is morally malforming the children who imbibe its message, and that criticism still stands. But even the people who have no ideological opposition to Disney and their agenda right now, they all said that it was a boring, low effort, just, they did it to just put it out there, and they didn't intend for this to be memorable or special. It was just, on schedule.
Yeah. It's really funny. There was a thing from Variety. This is not from somebody in the YouTube community. Variety says not a single Disney film has grossed $1 billion this year. It's the first time since 2014, not including pandemic years of 2020 and 2021, that Disney hasn't had a $1 billion release. They had 7 films that hit $1 billion in 2019 alone.
Well, they put out Encanto literally right when the pandemic hit, and it still did better than Wish.
Yeah.
So you can't use the pandemic excuse anymore. You can't use the strikes as an excuse. Nobody is interested in the movie.
And I don't think it's going to get any better because it's only going to get more corporate. It's not going to get more honest. It's not going to get more creator focused. Every one of these directors and studio and people that are picked out to do these things are hired off an assembly line to make sure that it fits the exact right amount of boxes for each thing that it needs to do. And that's the thing that I thought was funny when listening to the music from Wish. Is like, I'm listening to this music that it's kind of like how pop radio is. You can tell it's been algorithmically designed to maximize playback from people, which just feels very corporate, soulless, hollow, and empty.
Mm-hmm. The music is not going to be remembered a year or 10 years from now.
No.
That's why people say, like, this feels like it was written by ChatGPT. That's why the music sounds like an AI generated it. They might as well turn to AI to make these movies now because their teams aren't doing any better.
Yeah. And Disney has lost its hold on this market. Trolls almost beat it this weekend. Trolls, which is in its...
Universal has been beating them.
Yes, for quite a while now.
Yeah, with Mario, with Puss in Boots. Anything that they put out does better.
And I don't think that the Disney brand carries they had a couple of years in there where you can coast on crap because you're the Disney brand. That's not the thing anymore. First of all, the younger kids probably don't even want to go that much anyways. They're too busy watching stuff on their phones or stuff on their tablets that their parents gave them. I was going to say PewDiePie, but he's not really
Cocomelon.
Cocomelon. He's not really, I wouldn't say PewDiePie is super relevant to that. It says, we got a $20 one here from Max Destruction Ken. Says, is there a way for Disney to rebuild their franchise? I mean, seriously, get rid of Iger and so on.
Well, I mean, we keep saying, like, make more original stories. Stop beating all of your existing IP into the ground and living off of the fumes. But this Wish is an original story. It's a new Disney princess. It's not another live action remake or a reboot. And they prove that they're incapable of creativity in that respect, too. So, I mean, and you're saying Encanto was good. A lot of people liked Encanto.
Moana did.
A lot of people liked Coco.
And Moana did well.
But now they're like, let's make a live action Moana. Yeah. Everything they do that does moderately well, they want to ride on its coattails until it loses all public favor.
I don't think that there's a way to fix something like this without the company going under and rebuilding from the ashes.
It's too big to fail.
I don't think that you pull back on something like this anytime soon, especially since they've been very open about how they don't plan to change anything to do with their hiring policies, DEI is still going to be a very important part of their business practices because it's baked into the business model that they use at the corporate level, not just at the creative level, but at the corporate level. So you can't go back on that. It's kind of like when I make the joke, and even though I've actually been proven wrong recently, this is a little bit of an aside, but I was like, once you change the race of a character, if you have a white character and you make the character black, you know you can never go back and then cast the character as white again. I was wrong. They have not only gone back and made Jimmy Olsen a white guy for DC, he's a redhead again.
Oh.
They
just had to prove you wrong.
That's crazy, right? So, I just don't know if you can go back with stuff like this. I don't think that you can capture that magic again. I think for a lot of things right now, you're watching a slow motion death in real time. The company will continue to pump its numbers through the stocks, right? Like the stock prices suffered severely, but the company's going to continue to push IP that needs to be redone over and over and over again. All of these original movies, maybe you'll get people liked Elemental, right? Not
well
us,
enough.
but other people liked Elemental well enough, but it didn't have a great opening box office. Maybe what's sad about that is that if Disney had a little bit more positive favor right now, it would have done a good opening box office weekend and had small drops from week to week. So they're actually their own worst enemy in most cases like this. And I don't think there's a way to fix this without releasing at least 4 to 5 good projects in a row. You don't have the goodwill to release 2 good ones, a bad one, 2 good ones, a bad one. Every time you release a bad one now, it reaffirms what people believe, that you're floundering, that you're failing. You need 5 knockout projects in a row that all capture the public interest, that all do well at the box office, that all help turn their company around. It's also true that they're not making as much money now because they're focused so heavily on Disney Plus, which is losing them tons of money.
Right. Also, Elemental was a Pixar movie, not a Disney Studios movie. They're trying to prioritize Disney Studios movies with animated movies right now. They are trying to, it seems like they're trying to phase out Pixar.
Well, they've been doing that for a couple of years because they were releasing all the Disney ones in theaters, but Pixar was getting sent straight to...
Right.
Unless it was Toy Story 4 or Lightyear.
Yeah.
And Lightyear bombed. Lightyear didn't do good.
Yeah.
Like that was like the tweet that I saw, which I responded to, and I don't often respond, it's just like, a week ago, no one in Hollywood could have predicted that this movie from Disney would fail. And I'm just like,
but YouTubers could.
I'm like, Strange World, Indiana Jones 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp, The Marvels, all of these movies that you release. Yes, you absolutely could tell that it was going to fail. Haunted Mansion, you knew that it was going to fail. Anybody paying attention knew that it was going to fail. And it's only gotten worse. My hope for them is they someday get rid of Bob Iger. This is not going to happen. Maybe they get rid of Bob Iger. But as long as they're doing the type of investment strategy they're doing, you guys should go check out Valiant Renegade's channel. He does really good financial breakdowns of Disney as far as the stock price and everything. As long as their business model is in the form that it's in, I don't think it changes anytime soon. It's too big. It's too corporate. Mm-hmm. It will never have the magic that it once had.
But doesn't that mean it's too big to fail?
I mean...
And we're not going to live to see everything they've built up topple.
I mean, we can go ahead and we can laugh at all of them when they come out and they don't do that well, but I don't know if it's going to... they're never going to go out of business.
Right.
But... Keep poking at the bear and telling them that their projects suck. Be honest when they're good. Don't just say that. I hate that shit. I hate when people dunk on stuff just because it's cool to dunk on it. If you see something you like I was talking to people who liked Wish. And that's okay. You're allowed to like the projects that you like. You're allowed to. There were plenty of movies this year that I liked that you didn't like, right?
Who liked Wish?
Or you liked Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
It was great.
So like the stuff that you like. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't like something just because it's a company that that normally sucks.
I think the TMNT movie was the best animated movie for kids that came out this year.
Yeah. Also, we now what? The Frozen 4 has been announced before Frozen 3 even has come out.
Is it supposed to be a live action Frozen?
No,
or is that still a rumor?
That's a different thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a $20 one here from KB. Says, we've been exposing our preteen to all the good classic movies from the past. Parents don't need to wait for Disney at all to come around. There's plenty of old stuff we grew up on to fill a childhood. Yes, that's absolutely true.
And you don't need Disney Plus to watch the old stuff.
Nope. No, you don't need to do that. So
just have a physical media collection.
That
it's
really
so funny. The Thanksgiving slasher movie with Addison Rae did better this weekend than the Marvels.
And I got a ton of messages from people saying you should go see this. It's really, really good. So the word of mouth was there.
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people are they're like, look, it's fun. It's great. Go see it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, a lot of people were hating on Napoleon as well.
Because he doesn't have an accent. And
well, also they're saying that he is a simp for Josephine, and it's really like changing history. It's not historically accurate in a lot of ways.
Most of these movies
That's
rarely
to be
are.
expected.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't like Joaquin Phoenix's acting style anymore.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see when one of the movies that's going to be interesting to follow is to see how Joker 2 does. Given that it won't have the it won't have the media backlash because now it's co-signed by.
Never say never on that.
The media's on board with it now.
You sure?
Yep, the media's on board with it now. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.